turn the numbers for us. We're joined by Naveen Kulkarni, the CIO of Axis Securities. Hi, Naveen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, hi.
Naveen, first up, quickly, how do you read into the numbers? A slight bit of a miss coming in from what the street was expecting, I believe. Tell us, what according to you, how do you look at these numbers?
Yeah, so the numbers look a little weak to me. I would say that the numbers have missed our expectations slightly. The revenue numbers are not very encouraging. Volume growth is around 3%, but overall revenue growth is just around a couple of percentage points. So that's a miss by 1.5%, 2%, right? So EBITDA numbers are also slight miss. Margins are okay in line with our expectations, but absolute EBITDA is slightly lower. In terms of what categories have not done well, if you look at it, the personal care segment has not been doing so great. I guess the segment has been quite sluggish. Overall, I would say that from this numbers, we are likely to expect some bit of downgrades coming for HUL as of now.
Coming in for HUL, but it has been a tough quarter for a lot of consumer companies, Naveen. In fact, if you look at the demand, the rural demand, while it has been on the path to recovery, which constitutes around 1/3 of a business for HUL, the 2/3 of the business, the urban demand has been moderating. So going forward in the short term, do you see this uptrend in the rural demand and the demand to moderate in the urban areas?
Yeah, so that's a trend that HUL has been talking about, and their guidance generally has been pretty good historically, right? So urban demand moderating is not a very encouraging sign, whereas rural demand improving is an encouraging sign. But if urban demand were to moderate, that will obviously have an impact in terms of overall margins also. Having said that, what is also being talked about is that their overall premium portfolio has been doing well. So that will probably help the margin. So broadly, if I were to look at HUL from three perspectives, one is from urban versus rural, and second is premium versus non-premium. So I think premium is doing well, which is a positive. Rural is improving or holding up is a positive. Urban slowing is a slight negative, right? So all these factors will balance out, and as of now, there is little to cheer about in terms of HUL's results, but probably Q3 should be better is what I sense. That's also the strongest quarter for HUL. So Q3 should be better, and then if things were to improve, then Q4 onwards, we should start seeing overall improvement happening for the consumer sector as a whole.
Management has commented that no further acceleration in the demand, in the acceleration on demand, and in fact, a low single-digit price growth. Give us a sense of what do you see in terms of the growth outlook in this scenario.
Yes, so see, the categories in which Hindustan Unilever operates in, which is, let's say, primarily staples categories, which is, let's say, fabric wash, and which is bulk of the segment. And then there is a significant personal care, and then there are other products like tea and food and beverages, so on and so forth, right? So the overall demand scenario for these products tends to remain fairly, I would say, that's stable. But overall, from a long-term perspective, it's expected to grow in line with GDP growth rate, right, which is around 5 to 6%. That's something in volume terms. That's the more important factor, right? We are not looking at overall value growth, but more in terms of volume growth, we should see a 5 to 6% growth happening. Somewhere that numbers are not materializing. It could be mix of multiple things. Also, competitive intensity is also a critical factor. But overall, I feel that demand environment has been slow for quite a long period. But I think that can improve in the forthcoming quarters is my sense. Let's see how that pans out. As of now, we are not seeing any significant acceleration happening. Maybe, but things could improve in the forthcoming quarters is what we can hope for, considering that rural will start seeing uptake, and urban should probably see better days than what it was in Q2.
So better days ahead for HUL and consumer companies. That's the word coming in. Thank you so much, Naveen, for taking the time out and joining us. And well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition.